Okay, everybody, now let's talk about this topic. One of my favorite topics is, would you join you? Funny thing that is to say, right? Would you join you? What that means is, if you were the prospect taking a look at the business or taking a look at potentially becoming a customer or whatever, would you join you? Like doing the things that you're doing, would you join you? It's funny. It's a funny way of saying, are you attracting the right people? Are people attractive to you? Are they attracted to what you're doing? Are you setting up the proper environment for you to be able to succeed and for people to be able to come aboard because they want to join you? This is a key element and something that if you're going to have a big business in this, anybody can have a little business in this. You can just go through the motions and have a decent sized business. You can make some money. That's great. But man, I'm telling you, if you want to have if you want to get to the top, if you want to go and make a massive, push or have massive growth and massive momentum in a short period of time and compress time, compress time and do what most people do in 40, 45 years, and you do it in 2 to 5 years, like 2 to 5 years. Like you can change your entire circumstances in life in 2 to 5 years. Okay. Incredible what we have. There's a book called The 4-Year Career. Go read it. It's a great book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on what is a Kindle or whatever. You can get it on audiobook. Go get it. Go read it. It's a really cool book. It talks about how to do what in 4 years, what takes most people 40 or more years to do. Here's the mindset. One of the mindsets. This one's great. Albert Einstein, he said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Let that sink in for a moment and ponder that if you haven't thought of this before. Very important, right? Whatever situation you're in life, the thinking that you have, okay, is what got you there. Your mindset, what's in between your two ears, the things that you think about, the things that you do, the things that your brain makes you do on a daily basis with all the things that are happening, getting bombarded by all the things throughout the day, whatever your thought process is, your mindset, that got you to where you are now. So let's say that you're looking to have something change in your life. I want something to change. I want to move in the direction of more. I want more freedom. I want more security. I want more. I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to make my own decisions. I want to buy back my time. Maybe it's money. Maybe you want to pay off some bills. I want to get ahead. I want to make it so that I don't wake up every day thinking about money. I remember I've been there. I remember being there where my head hit the pillow and the last thing I was thinking about was how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get through the week? And then the first thing I thought about when I woke up is, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get through the week? Guys, I've been there. Okay. I've been working this business to get as far away from that as possible. Like there is no amount in my mind, there is no amount of distance that is far enough to get me far enough away from that situation that I used to be in. I know it. Okay. And it takes work. It takes a concerted effort on a part-time basis over time to completely turn that around and never have to worry about it again. And Albert Einstein was right. You can't use the same thinking to solve it. It's what got you there. You have to change your mindset to do it. So then the changing the mindset, it always brings up this in my mind, self-leadership. See, if you have self-leadership, then you're not relying on someone else to tell you how to be a leader. It's you decide to be a leader, right? These are questions that you can ask yourself, things to ponder. These are going to make you think. Some of them might hit you right square between the eyes, and in the forehead or whatever. And some of them might say, I can't believe you put that up there. Well, these are things that you need to think about. These are things that I thought about. These are exactly the things that I thought about when I was questioning where I was at a certain point in my life that got me to that point, and it wasn't where I wanted to be. And I needed to change something. So here, are you becoming the kind of leader you'd want to follow? Great question. How about this one? Are you building something worth joining? Like what you're building, how you're building, is it worth joining? Is it somebody looking at you? If they took a look at you, like if you wrote a business plan up for where your business is right now, and I'm assuming you've been in the business for a little while, let's just say, But if you wrote a business plan as to what you've done to this point, and you wanted to have somebody invest in your business, would it be investable? Like, is it moving in the right direction? Are you sponsor ready? That's a good question. Are you actually ready to sponsor someone? Sponsor ready means that you can sponsor someone and you can give them the ability to 100% succeed because you're ready to sponsor them. If you met yourself, like if you met you at an interview, at a job interview, would you offer yourself the job? If you interviewed yourself, would you offer yourself the job? What a great question that one is. Being a recruiter in the IT and sales sectors for a number of years, I understand that. That's a great way to put it. Are you the leader you're asking others to trust? Ooh, that's a different question than are you the leader you're asking others to be? No. Are you the leader that you're asking others to trust? That's a great question to ask yourself. Here's some more self-leadership questions so we can set the tone and really dig in here. Would you join your own business? There's another one. Would you join your business? Take a look at your business, where it is, what it's doing, what you're doing in it, the daily activities. Would you do that? Are you modeling the opportunity or are you just talking about it? This is kind of like put up or shut up, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, the meat and potatoes. Like, are you just talking about what's happening? Or are you actually modeling and doing what this opportunity offers? Are you actually doing the business or is it just something you talk about? There are a lot of people out there that just talk. They're all talk. And until you actually do, you're not going to get where you want to go. You could talk all day long, but until you do, it's not going to happen. Are you bringing value or are you just talking about it? Do you bring value to the people around you? Would a serious business person take you seriously? Man, like if you met the perfect person, that could go out and build this massive organization in Think Plus. If they saw you, would they actually take you seriously enough to join with you? Great question. See, if you can up your game a little bit, then you can up the quality and the quantity of the people that you attract in your business. Are you investing in your growth at the level you expect others to? For instance, are you telling people, hey, guess what? You need to make a list when you get started in this business. You need to have a vision board. You need to put your dreams down and your goals down. You need to write it out. But you didn't do any of those things. You don't have a vision board, okay? And you don't have a big list. And you didn't sit down and write out the things that you want with the people you care about. And then you go tell somebody else to do it. They're going to see right through that. They're going to realize that you're not genuine. There's like this unspoken language between people. So what that means is, are you doing what you say you are you doing what you're telling other people to do to be successful? So let's talk a little bit about growth and self-development framing. Framing. These are questions like quotes, right? These are quotes that you can put in your mind. Upgrade yourself until your business upgrades. Not you business, your business. Sorry about that, guys. Always have to correct as I'm going. So upgrade yourself until your business upgrades. Fantastic. Keep working on yourself. Keep improving. And that's what will happen at the far end of it. On the other end of it, it'll be a totally different story. Attract who you are, not what you want. Attract who you are, not what you want. If you think about that, it's like, am I attracting who I am? You want to become the person that you're looking for in the business. Like the qualities that you're looking for: committed, hardworking people of integrity, people who are coachable, busy, successful people who get things done. That's who you want to attract. That's who you need to become, right? So make sure you become that so you can attract that. Raise your value, raise your team. That's how it works. The speed of the leader determines the pace of the pack. As you raise your value, your entire team goes up with you. Here's a premise, right? You don't find great leaders, you attract them. Great way to look at it. You attract them. See, you could find a great leader, but are they going to join you if you're not attractive to them? If they're not seeing what they want to see in someone to be their sponsor? How about become the sponsor you wish you had? This one is for people who've been in this industry before, and maybe you had a sponsor or a team that wasn't willing to help you or that wasn't able to help you, or they just weren't plugged in. You know, I've been there. Okay. And it doesn't matter because you can go higher, you can go upline until you find the person you're looking for. That's for sure. But become the sponsor you wish you had when you got started in this industry. Great philosophy. Here's the question. Asking yourself this every day. If my team did what I did today, what kind of team would I have? This is like looking in the mirror. What kind of team would I have if my team did what I did today? Man, I didn't do anything today. Well, then your team didn't do anything, so you probably wouldn't have a great team. But if you did a little bit today and your team did a little bit, right, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get more of that, staying consistent. So this brings up this term called the magnetic sponsor. There's a magnetism that happens in the business when things are running on all cylinders, all of them are clicking at the same time. It's called the magnetic sponsor. And I love this, the magnetic sponsor mindset. This is a great term to think about as you're going through your day, as you're going through your life, as you're going through your business, the magnetic sponsor mindset. Am I prepared? Like, be prepared. Know yourself. Know the services, right? Know all of the players that you're working with. Good to know those things. Who are the people, who are the doers that you can align yourself with so that you can move forward? Decide, magnetic sponsor mindset, you decide to focus on the positive. That is a given. If you focus on the positive, you'll be doing great things. You have to have monster vision. The magnetic sponsor has monster vision, a vision big, a huge monster vision. So you want to have monster vision. You want to be a student. Take notes everywhere you go. Every time somebody's talking, you can glean some information from them. Take those notes, take it down, write it down, note on a notepad, take a picture of it after you write it. You can transcribe, you can have it be pulled right into your text if it can read your handwriting, or use your phone to take notes. Text yourself the notes. I love doing stuff like that where I hear a quote that somebody says and I take down that note and then I text it to myself and set it to send it to me after I know the event is over the next day so that it reminds me about it automatically. Have a massive list of candidates. That's a magnetic sponsor has a big list of candidates for sure. Okay, adopt a long-term philosophy and approach. You have to be thinking longer term than just today. Okay, like you just make the decision today that you're going to be here next year at this time. Give yourself a year. And then after a year, then you reassess. Do not quit. Like, I'm going to do this for a year and I'm going to put the blinders on and I'm going to see where I am after a year. That's what you're going to do. Now you're going to assess as you're going, but you made a commitment not to quit this year. Right? The magnetic sponsor mindset. It's simple duplication of basic activities. It's a daily method of operation. The little things that you do. I add a person to my list. I text somebody to take a look at a video. I ask someone to be my customer. I invite them to take a look at an overview. I get them on a Zoom meeting. I follow up with people. I send out for follow-up information. I drip on people I talked to in the past that didn't join yet. The daily method of operation, the DMO. Making sure that you do clean three-way calls. What do I mean by clean? Clean means you're not putting every single person on a three-way call, especially the ones that aren't interested, okay? And people who didn't even take a look at the business. I love it when somebody says, hey, I was talking to Mike and he took a look at the video and he said, it's definitely not for him, Tony. Could you convince him as to why it's for him? And I'm like, are you kidding me? You've just lost all credibility with that person. I mean, you totally lost all credibility. That's not the purpose of the three-way call. A clean three-way call is somebody who has legitimate questions after they took a look. Clean up your three-way calls, right? Do them professionally and have professional follow-up. utilize the BAM app to professionally follow up with people. Now, I'm telling you what, the BAM app is great because you can prospect with it, you can send information out with it. Those are all awesome. And it's also, on top of being a great prospecting and social media and branding, even if you've never branded yourself on social media before, it's a great way to brand yourself into your networks. Not only that, but the BAM app is fantastic for follow up. When someone doesn't join yet, or they have questions, or they're researching it, or they need to think about it. So here's the question the magnetic sponsor asks themselves, is my skill set strong enough to attract leaders? That's the question that the magnetic sponsor is asking themselves all the time. Okay, I ask myself that question all the time. Here's another one. Magnetic sponsors have a value creation mindset. Instead of asking, will you join me? Instead of will you join me being their mindset, that's not their mindset. They don't care about that. What they care about and think about is how can I bring value to you? How can I bring value to you? How can I help you move in the direction of more? Okay. How can I help you get more out of life? Like if you want more, get better. Like Jim Rohn, one of the greatest philosophers of all time in the business world, said, if you want more in life, you have to get better. Okay. You have to improve yourself. Okay. They think, how can I bring value? They educate. Magnetic sponsors, they educate, they clarify, they solve, they're solution oriented, and they connect. This is what magnetic sponsors do. I mean, you think about the people that you see out there making things happen out there. We just saw, people out there that are doing these meetings. Like you see Lynette Roberts, and you see Milton, and you see Ed Kenny, and you see Albie Delgado, right? You think they're sitting here going, well, I don't educate anybody. I don't clarify things. I'm not a solution person. I don't connect. I don't make connection. Of course, they're doing all these things. They're doing all of these things because value is magnetic. Value is magnetic. Want to become a magnetic sponsor? Then become a value creator. Like become the person that brings value. Magnetic sponsors, they have stability and they have consistency. In our industry, this is such a true statement, you guys. Emotional swings are common. Why are they common in our industry versus other industries? Well, because most people, they're in an industry where their job is, it's like, okay, I have to get up. It's Monday. I don't like Mondays. I got the Sunday night blues the night before. Now it's Monday. I'm just going to go punch my ticket. Got to get through the whole week. And then it's Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday's a little bit more like Monday, except I'm closer to the weekend. And then Wednesday's hump day. I'm halfway. I'm getting over the hump. And, and they get happier the closer they get to not having to do their work, their job. Like that's what most people are. They're just punching the ticket. And so they don't have emotional swings. They're just going through life on autopilot, on monotone, right? It's the same thing. They're just in a rut. They're just going back and forth, home to work to home, home to work to home, home to work to home. That's all they're doing. But in our industry, emotional swings are common because you could be the highest level of, positivity, and then your mom says she won't be your customer. And all of a sudden, it's like somebody just put a pin in, popped your balloon, stuck a pin in you, and you deflated. And now you have to get pumped back up again. Emotional swings are common in our business, okay? But magnetic sponsors, they have stability and consistency because they are even toned. Okay, it's no big deal. I love to say to people when they have this big problem, I go, you know what? That's no big deal. Let me show you how to handle that. Like everybody, you should incorporate this terminology. Hey, you know what? That's no big deal. We have a program for that. Hey, that's no big deal. We can show you how to handle that. Hey, that's no big deal. Even if I don't know the answer, I know I can get it because I have the ability to contact our company and our leaders. And even if I don't know the answer, I'm still even toned about it. I'm not an alarmist. Okay, I'm not like going to agree with you when you say this is the end of the world. No, it's not. This is no big deal. Like I think of it this way. When the no big deal. If it's not going to matter 5 years from now, it's not a big deal. Now, if it's going to matter 5 years from now, then let's talk about it. Okay, but most things are not going to matter so much in 5 years that it would derail you. They're predictable. Magnetic sponsors are predictable. They're consistent. They're present weekly. Okay, yeah. Do you go away for a week or 2 weeks on vacation, stuff like that? On a regular basis throughout the year, you're showing up every week somehow. You're doing something. You're making a phone call. You're touching base with people. You're going to a meeting. You're hopping on a Zoom. You're not ever detached fully from the business. Okay, you're always connected somehow. That's consistency. Because people don't join Think Plus, they join people. But who are the people that they join with? They join people who are stable. Like they join stability. People want stability. So they're joining the magnetic sponsor because the magnetic sponsor exhibits stability. Here's another one. Magnetic sponsors make an identity shift. This might come as news to you. Like, are you changing yourself? Are you changing your personality? That's not what an identity shift means. It's not you're changing your personality. You're changing your model. We're going to turn you into a Think Plus robot. We're going to turn you into a Think Plus, automaton. We're not doing that. We're just helping you to make an identity shift because most people don't have this type of identity, and they'd love to get it. So they stop seeing themselves. Magnetic sponsors, when they join our business and they start improving themselves, they start plugging into events and reading books and listening to audio and getting better and improving, and they go through these daily methods of operation, they stop seeing themselves as a rep. Somebody asked me I think it was yesterday. Somebody said, so how many reps do you have? I said, we don't have any reps. They're like, well, you're a rep, aren't you? I'm like, no, I'm not a rep. I'm not a rep. A rep. I said a rep is a representative of something else, of somebody else, of some other business, of some other company. Like you're representing some other person that owns something and you're representing them. Like that's what a representative is. I said, that's not what I am. And then, they stop seeing themselves as a recruiter, trying to get people, trying to harpoon people. They stop seeing themselves that way. They stop seeing themselves as someone who's trying. I'm trying. Hey, I've been trying. Okay. Take that word out of your vocabulary, right? Remember that thing from Star Wars, right? With Yoda, the little Yoda that was, I don't know, 1,000 years old or something like that, saying, there is no try, only do, right? There's no try, only do. You become a doer. You stop trying and you start doing. What magnetic sponsors see themselves as, they see themselves as a leader, not a rep, a leader. I'm in my own business. Okay. I'm an independent energy advisor. I'm not dependent on anybody else. I'm in my own business. I own the business. I named it whatever I want. If I just want to name it, my name, great. But if I want to call it something else, I can make my own name up for my business. I own my own business, right? A builder. They see themselves as a builder, not a recruiter. They're building bridges. They're constructing something. They're putting the pieces together. Okay, that's a different mindset. They see themselves as a business owner. So a leader, a builder, and a business owner. That's better than a rep, a recruiter, or someone who's trying. Here's why, because identity drives posture. Posture. And we're going to talk tonight, I'm going to talk on the Women of Think about posture. This topic right here on this screen, that little segment at the bottom, that statement where it says posture drives attraction. We're going to talk more in depth tonight and expand on posture on the Women of Think call. So I don't need to go into all of that right now. But what I will also say as we wrap up is that magnetic sponsors, they're long-term thinkers and they are emotionally detached to the outcome. This is a big one. This is hard for some people to do because you've been here. I mean, I had somebody last week, this person was like ready to quit the business. They'd been in for a week. They were ready, the emotional roller coaster, right? And that's part of it. Man, I can tell you what, when I first got in this industry, I probably quit. When I first got in this industry, I think I quit like 25 times in the first 6 months that I was in this industry. I quit because I was like, I've had it with these people. I can't believe it. They're not doing what I wanted them to do. They didn't say, they said they'd do one thing and they did the other. So this came up, that came up, and I was like, I'm out. I quit. Luckily, the next day I joined again. That's what happens when you're a long-term thinker. Let yourself have your little fit today, but don't quit. Okay? It's just a temporary derailment. So a long-term thinker then essentially they become emotionally detached to the short-term outcome. Okay, they understand this. They understand that recruiting is a sorting process. It's a sorting process. Not everybody's ready right now to join your team. And they know that momentum compounds. Like if you keep doing it, it's just like keep investing in your bank account. Put into your investments. You put a little bit in there, put a little bit in now, put a little bit in now. And then you let it sit there. You let it keep compounding. You don't quit. You don't go and invest. Well, I'm going to invest for my future. I'm going to start at age 20 or whatever, 18. I'm going to start investing for my future. Or you're going to start now at age 50 or whatever age you are. I'm going to start investing in my future now. Okay, great. Well, you put that money aside. You put it into the stock market. You put it into a 401k or IRA or whatever. Okay. And then next month you say, you know what? I'm going to take it out. I'm not going to invest in I'm still investing in my future, but you're not letting it compound. Okay. You're pulling the activity out before it is time. You have to keep going. So they know that momentum compounds. Here's what magnetic sponsors don't do. They don't chase non-responders. Chasing people is the worst thing that you can do. The best thing you can do is take it away when they say they're not interested. Whenever somebody says they're not interested or anything that they say that's not about joining or finding out more, I just say, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. You just saved me a whole bunch of time. And they go, what do you mean? Thank you for your time. What do you mean I just saved you a whole bunch of time? Well, it's obviously that you're not interested or qualified right now. And I always say stuff like that. It's obviously you're either not interested or qualified right now. I'm not telling them they're not qualified. I said they might not be interested or qualified right now. That means I'm assuming that later on down the road that could change, which is the case. Okay, that is the case. So they don't chase non-responders. Instead, they thank them for their time. I'm sorry it's not for you. You just saved me a whole bunch of time because now I don't have to chase you. I can go talk to somebody else who's much more ready than you are right now. Thank them for their time. They'll be like, what? I mean, where'd you come from? Wait a minute. Maybe I should find out more about this. You're not trying to get me anymore, right? They don't over-explain to skeptics. Man, magnetic sponsors, when they see a skeptic that they doesn't, and they realize that that skeptic is like, there's no way I'm going to change this person's mind. Because if I have to change your mind for you to figure out that autosave is a great platform, that Think Community Solar is a great platform, that smart thermostats are a great platform, that our home battery program is a great platform. If you're skeptical about those platforms when we're a licensed company in 17 states and owned by a $200 billion publicly traded company. Are you kidding me? If you're skeptical after you find that out, there's no way I'm going to change your mind. Okay, I'll check back with you in 3 to 6 months to see if anything changes on your side. Like I remember I just said this to someone, this person got me on a three-way call and the person was like, absolutely, the EA was absolutely trying to get this person to join the business. And I was like, great. I said, no problem. I could tell they were chasing. Could tell by the way they did the three-way call. They were trying to get this person, get them. And the person was realizing that too. And so I totally took it away from the person. I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry, this is not for you. Maybe we'll check back with you in 3 to 6 months to see if any circumstances change on your end or if you're more ready to accept this information for what it is. And this is after he was fully skeptical, kind of like idiotic skeptical in a way. And when I took it away from him and just said it's over, the person on the EA after the call was like, I can't believe that you did that. Why didn't you try to convince them to join? I was like, that's not what I do. I said, if I have to convince them to join, then I have to convince them to do their certification and convince them to go and get a customer and convince them that it's good for their parents and their friends and family. I said, we don't need that. Let's take it away and let's see what this person does, because now we got off the phone. We're not trying to get them. And we said 3 to 6 months, right? I said, great. So in 3 to 6 months, you follow up with the person. Now you can drip some information on them in the meantime. I would definitely drip some of our press releases to this skeptic. And so I said, this is what I would do. I'd go into our, Telegram channel or our WhatsApp, and or our Facebook, and I would take the links to all of the press releases, and I would put it in an email to the person because it's long. And I said, take the press releases, put them in an email, and at the beginning of the email, just put as the header, factual research. That's what I said. Just put that up there. Factual research about Think Plus. Facts about Think Plus. So email became facts about Think Plus. And I said, feel free to CC me on the email if you want. And they did. So then they put the facts in there, and I said in the subject line of that, just say, hey, just wanted to let you know in case you're looking to do some research, I just saved you a whole bunch of time. Tony and I saved you a whole bunch of time because these are actual factual press releases that are public information for people to consume. And I said, so write something like that in the thing, and then put the things in there, put the links at the bottom. And then just say, hey, I understand that you had questions, because you're understanding that they're skeptical. So, hey, I understand that you had questions about what we're doing and things like that, and you weren't sure about the services or the products. But what I can say is that, I said, this is what you want to say. After you read this, I'm sure that you'll agree that this is a legitimate business in a huge market, and we only have an upside as we go. So I said, put something like that in there. And they summarized what I said and did it. And guess what happened? Within 2 hours of the time and I said, here's the other thing, because people don't read their emails all the time and it's too long for a text. I said, text the person and say, not sure if you're one of the people that reads emails regularly, because most people aren't, but I just sent you an email and it has some research in it that I think would be valuable to you. Right? So that's what they sent. 2 hours later, the guy calls him back. The one that was a total skeptic, not interested, negative about everything, was like, hey, I appreciate you sending me that information over. You know what? I'm having a friend of mine take a look at it. Can you send me a copy of the video that you sent to me, because I lost it? I want to share it with my friend. This person is now no longer a skeptic. This person is now an optimist, because they're reaching out to one of their friends. They're a potential optimist. They're reaching out to one of their friends now because we provided real facts and didn't let them off the hook, saying, "Oh, you're right. It's not, it's a scam." We're not doing that. We're just providing information. And don't take rejection personally. And that's what I had to coach this person on. I was like, this is not you're acting like they're rejecting you. They're rejecting themselves. There's either they don't believe in themselves enough because of fear of failure, which is most likely the thing, or they don't believe in Think Plus, which we just solved that. So now the only thing that's left is themselves, or maybe you. And I said, that's why you want to make sure that you keep your posture, that you make sure you're improving yourself all the time and staying up to date, so that you will be attractive to them when they come back to you and they ask you a question, you're ready for them. I know I spent a lot of time on that, but man, to be emotionally detached. See, magnetic sponsors, they are urgent, okay? They have a sense of urgency about them, and they're directly after it all the time. They're like, I'm on the go. I got to do this. I got to do this. But the thing is, they're not like crazy urgent. They're not desperate urgent. Instead, they're replacing their urgency with standards of urgency. See, there's a difference there between being urgent and desperate, and being urgent and calm and confident. That's what the standards are. Guys, in one sentence, I'm going to wrap it up with this. In one sentence, what is a magnetic sponsor? A magnetic sponsor in Think Plus is calm, competent, consistent, and certain without needing validation. That last part, without needing validation, is the most important part about that, because it means you're all in. And that's what I want every one of you to be is all in. Stay all in for 2026. Do not quit this business. You have a massive opportunity to create something that can potentially impact you and your families for generations to come. You guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm probably going to get off this pretty quickly here. We've gone a while. I know that's a lot of information, but I wanted to share that with everybody. This is recorded. I'll be there. I'll be great. Fantastic. Love it. Paul, no matter how many times you've heard something, you always learn something new. Paul, appreciate that. Exactly, that's how it goes. I learned something new today while I was preparing this training. Steve, this was one of your best trainings and curiously one with the smallest attendance. Yeah. Well, that's because we have so many events going on today. It's just crazy. I think you could just replay this over and over week after week. Appreciate that, Steve. We're having fun here, you guys. If there's anything that I can answer, put it in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'm going to let you get back to your day. I see Bella with her hand raised. Bella, go right ahead.
Oh my gosh, Tony, I have no words. I've been to top trainings and my personal mentor and friend Jim Rohn for 16 years. This was by far a multi-million dollar training.
I appreciate that, Bella. I appreciate those
Tony,
coming
this
from you.
training,
That is extremely valuable right there. I appreciate you saying that.
this training has to be framed and played, or the entire company needs to hear this. This was by far the best that anybody can ever want. This is a leadership training in itself.
All right. Hey, Bella, look, you're making things happen. I'll tell you what, you and I both know we're just continuing to sharpen the axe and just get better and better. That's all this is about, right? And you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. And I appreciate that. And you and I both know all of these nuggets that are in here is all stolen, plagiarized, borrowed from everybody else over time and boiled down into a short training. And so I
Yes,
appreciate you saying that, Bella.
one amazing heck of a training. That's all I can say. I feel bad for anybody that didn't hear it, and I urge each and every one that are on to post it, the recording, wherever you can. Make every single one of your people listen to this. This is going to grow your team exponentially. No question.
Thank you for the kind words, Bella. This will be
Sure.
recorded. I'll take out the beginning part with all the updates and stuff. It'll just be the actual training. So it'll probably
Thank
be
you.
like, I
Wow.
don't know,
Can't
30,
wait to get
35
that.
minutes long. Okay,
Thank
I'll
you.
send it out today.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Bella.
Great day.
All right, take care. Have a good one. All right, everybody, I'm going to let everybody get back to their day. This is Tony Procopio from New Fairfield, Connecticut. Over and out. We'll see you tonight at all of the live events and on the Women of Think and on the Partners Plus call at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.